to absorb?
What did I envision?
I suppose I would imagine some wins.
I mean, you said based on what I envision. I want to know what you think I envision.
I would, but I mean, you envisioned coming here and winning a championship, or at least being.
Is the season over?
It certainly isn't on.
Is the season over?
No, sir.
Thank you. I had no expectations. The last 4 years of me, I've been on different teams 4 times. So my envision of kind of thinking everything gonna be peaches and cream, I don't. That's not realistic. That's not life.
So, I mean, we can get into the way the question's phrased. I don't have a problem with it. I know you guys do.
I don't.
He said it's the opposite of what you like. Of course, you imagine that someone like Westbrook, given his resume, I thought the reporter was very respectful of how great a player he's been and everything. I mean, of course, he assumes he envisions success, and what they're finding is failure, right? Like, to put it bluntly. But let me ask you guys something. Why is it that I was the last dude on the Lakers ship, unless Key is still on? You still on the ship?
I got a life jacket and everything on. I'm good. I'm buttoned up.
But you staying on?
Yeah, I'm right now. I'm cool. I'm okay right now.
I'm on.
You got blitzed by the Clippers last night.
Yeah, but I'm okay. We lost to them. It swept us this season. But right now, I got my life jacket on, and I'm slowly blowing in the inflated up. So
the ship is sinking. You just in the back of the ship.
I'm
That's the
waiting to
pinnacle
see.
part.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see how far it's gonna go down before I decide to dive off.
I'm on the little boats. What I'm forgetting what they're called already. The emergency.
The tenders or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm on land watching y'all.
No doubt. So, but there is this sense that the Lakers are cooked. Now, Jay, after last night with the Nets, I see you starting to really get very concerned about the Nets. But why is it that until right now, it felt like Nets are going to be fine and the Lakers are cooked? Lakers are down AD, right? AD is the whole shooting match for their defense. When LeBron and AD were playing together, they were beating the Suns last year. Soon as AD went down, series over, right? And the Suns beat them. Why is it we believe, or at least many believe, the Nets can flip that switch? Let me till Simmons gets there, they'll be fine, but the Lakers can't, Jay.
Well, because Russ and LeBron have been playing a lot of games together, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you haven't seen KD and Kyrie play, and you were hoping that the mandate was going to be lifted. So that's why you think, oh, the Nets with KD and Kyrie, and when Ben Simmons comes back, they can flip that switch easily because you know what they are offensively when those two play together. You know what LeBron James and Russell Westbrook are offensively. I don't see that flipping because I don't expect Russ to all of a sudden turn into Kyrie Irving. That's easy.
Yeah, see, I look at it as one, it's the Lakers. That's how I look at it, number one. And the Lakers are a national brand where the Brooklyn Nets are just a New York Brooklyn team. They're not a national team. So even though with Kevin Durant and Kyrie on it, the microscope is on the Lakers and LeBron because of how things always, LeBron and manipulating and putting the teams together. And you got 3, 4, 5 Hall of Famers or whatever you want to call it on the team. And you're looking at it that way. And it's just they won a championship 2 seasons ago, all of that packaged up. And Brooklyn has had lots of excuses as to why, rightfully so, as to why they're in the position that they're in right now, which is James Harden left, they got to get Ben Simmons, Kyrie, vaccination status, all that. There's a lot of excuses that is warranted for them. That's why I think it seems like the Lakers, and much like Jay said, can't flip the switch on because they've been together with 2 stars and haven't been able to do anything.
I think that's all right, but can I offer something else that I think is so basic? I really think it affects our psychology, though, the way we perceive these things. The number one thing you got to do is score the ball, right? I think it comes down to shooting. I know what that sounds like. Like Westbrook's won an MVP. Kyrie's never won an MVP. But now the feeling is Kyrie's better than Westbrook, right? Especially the way Westbrook's been playing. When they had Harden especially, we were like, all 3 of these dudes can score from anywhere on the floor almost better than anyone who ever lived. Triple threats, especially from the outside, right? Then you add Joe Harris, and then they trade for, this is before Seth Curry. It's like, oh, my God, the shooting. And you look at the Lakers, they go, they don't have the shooting, man. Already people don't believe the same way, right? Because as much lip service as we pay to defense wins championships, we feel like, oh, my God, when we see a team that can bomb. And now Why do we feel a little different about the Nets? Harden's gone. Simmons is in. We know he can't shoot. Oh, Kyrie's only going to be there half the time. Joe Harris is gone. Where's all the shooting? It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
We look right. So I think it might be as simple as that. Westbrook can't shoot. AD can't really shoot. I mean, okay for a guy his size. LeBron's not exactly a pure shooter. Oh my God, look at Kevin Durant. He's wet from anywhere. Kyrie, as long as he's on the floor, and I think that's starting to change just based on shooting. I think that's how our psychology gets affected.
What if both of them get bounced?
The championship that never was. It kind of feels like that's the line that's been following this whole season.
Kobe and LeBron never got to meet in the finals, right? Like that was the whole thing we were waiting for. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Lakers are hoping they can get in the zone on Saturday when they host the Warriors on ABC. Get in the Zone is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the Zone, AutoZone. Will one of the NFL's top young quarterbacks leave football if he doesn't get the contract he's looking for? That's next. Keyshawn J. Will.
I could have told you ACDC.
So James back in black, Nets uniforms, and here's KD back last night. I get it, James. Not exactly what I would.
James.
Not exactly the song I would pick for a Brooklyn team and the comeback of KD and everything, but okay,
Yeah.
it works.
I'm on board with it. 100%
yeah.
fully endorse the musical choice. By
Yeah, the
James
musical choice was.
And I
was
bet you
on
knew it
top
was
of that.
AC/DC as soon as you heard it.
Knew it was AC/DC. I knew it was Back in Black.
Knew what song on the album it was, what
Yeah,
came before
track
it, what
3
came
now.
after it.
They say
Jason
Back in
Keyshawn
Black
before.
very clearly in the lyrics, so it wasn't that hard of a guess.
That's true, but I did know. That's true. That's true. But I was able to Google quick. Oh, AC/DC. KD returned for the Nets and gave him 31. First day back after about 14 and a half years. Man, this dude has been gone for a grip. 31 after missing 21 straight games because of the MCL sprain. But the Heat beat him. And the Heat weren't even fully loaded. I mean, neither were the Nets. 113-107 at Barclays. Jay, Key, this is KD at the press conference.
I'm not trying to go out there and win the game by myself tonight or make it all about me. I just try to go out there and help and be a good teammate. Are cutting it close. There's only under 20 games left in the season, but that's the situation we're in. That's the circumstances we're in. You know what the standings are. You know, everybody's telling us every day how far we're dropping and where we may end up and constantly telling us the situation we're in. But we understand that, and we know that each day is important. So we focus on tonight and just keep plugging away.
Man, some of his shots is just so wet.
It's ridiculous. Just
It's
so
a
easy.
7-footer out there dancing with the ball like that, man.
He makes it look so easy, and he's the dude who can get a quiet 30 better than anyone I've ever seen. But so there's the Nets, right? No Ben Simmons.
I'm worried, Max.
Kyrie's only playing half the games. I know you're worried. And I think but here's the question. This is the reason. Look, the Nets, we have to see how Ben Simmons fits in. We have to find out what's going to happen with Kyrie. But, Jay, I saw KD and Kyrie play again in the playoffs last year without Harden, and Joe Harris was awful, right? And they were mopping the floor with the world champion Bucks the first couple games.
Mm-hmm. Joe Harris out for the season, by the way, going to get a second foot surgery.
Yeah, but they have Seth Curry instead of Joe Harris now. And
But you don't have Kyrie all the games,
Not all
only
the
on the
games.
road.
It's true.
You're still wondering about Ben Simmons.
So those first 2 games that they won last year, they'd have lost without
Mm-hmm.
Kyrie Irving. Yeah, that's a real thing.
I just want to set the tone. The reason why I'm worried, so last night, the Miami Heat, no Jimmy Butler, no B.J. Tucker, and no Kyle Lowry. And 4 dudes gave them 20 points. Max Strauss, you guys don't even know who that is.
Yeah, starting backcourt gone. Yeah.
Gone. Like gave the Nets 20-plus points last night. It's concerning where they're at. And I know it's KD's first game back, but this is not the team that we thought they were going to be.
No, not at all. I mean, you certainly thought that this would be a much better team, given the fact that even with Kyrie only being a role guy, you still thought that they would be better. Last night, I mean, you look, Eric Spoelstra can coach, number one. So you got to give him credit for that. And it's KD's first night back. Even though he dropped 31, you give it a few more games, and let's see what happens.
And let him get Simmons and all that. But think about this for a second. The Lakers were swept by the Clippers this season, right?
Really?
Here's
Sweet,
Russell
sweet.
Westbrook being asked about this season versus the way it's happened versus what he expected to happen. Listen to the question and listen to Westbrook's answer.
Everything's the opposite of what you envisioned.